Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Starting to have some issues with this thing. What is going on? Apologize for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like everything is good now. Welcome to Dion's Daily Dose for Thursday, August 13th. Yesterday was a big day. It was a lot of stuff happening. For those of you who haven't heard, Brian Snedecor of Hobart officially switched parties from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. It was quite an event. We had I had the Lieutenant Governor there, Suzanne Crouch. We had, hey Jack, good to see you. The leaders of the Lake County Party, of course, Chris Wells, the only member of the Republican Party that was an elected official. He was there. There's some background on that I won't get into, but if you talk to Chris, he'll let you know what's up with that. But I think everything went really well. It was a good event, beautiful location. Hobart is it is it still echoing? Man, what is going on with this? Let me try to reduce the gain back down. I'm gonna have to mess with this thing and see if I can figure it out. Let me know. Is that any better, ladies and gentlemen? Hold on, let me try something. All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Is that any better? I don't know why I have this echo. It was fine before, and then I moved stuff around. I thought I had it sorted. Man, what is going on with this thing? Yeah, what is up? Let me try turning this down. Okay. How about now? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Any better now? All right. Last chance. And then I'm going to have to take, I guess, mess with it after I get off. See if I can make it any better. Try to tolerate it. Most of it will be sharing the pictures that were there and telling you guys what's coming up on the show. We got actually a lot of stuff. First of all, I didn't get a chance to share with you. Now it's too quiet. All right, let me try this. All right. How about now? Is that any better? There we go. Trying that. This is, oh my goodness, right? I'm telling you, all I didn't change any of the settings. I didn't mess with any of the up and downs whatsoever. All I did was put the new desk in, reset the stuff to the side, moved my wife's desk out. All right, we're gonna try this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess with it after this. But last week, the Westville Police Department had a community policing webinar. My understanding was that they were full, so I attended the webinar. They actually had seats left, as you can see when you go to some of these pictures. But I wanted to share with you what you can see here. They covered a number of things. Is it not? Yeah, hold on. Let me switch which one is shared here. I did the wrong one. Hold on, let me switch to the right. Let's switch to the right one. There we go. Okay. We heard from some speakers there that had some very interesting things to say. They were able to tell us what was going on as far as the alternate courts for people with drug offenses, for our veterans, for stuff like that. I thought the whole thing was being recorded and I have access to it, but while I was trying to figure that out, I figured out that I'd have to just do screenshots. So I got some screenshots for you. You're able to see some of what they say. With phase one of the drug court, there's a court hearing every week, 2 case manager appointments every week, counseling 2 to 4 times a week, 3 self-help meetings weekly, call in every day for random drug screen testing, 2 uploads weekly if on CRAM, SCRAM, obtain medical insurance, clean and sober for a month, and then in order to advance to phase 2. Right? And it talks about how drug courts are the single most successful criminal justice intervention for seriously addicted offenders. Proven to save lives, save money, and reduce crime, these courts treat substance use disorders, treat mental health needs, secure education, employment, and housing, produce tax-paying, productive citizens, break the cycle of addiction in families, reduce rearrests and reincarcerations, reduce substance use and overdose, reduce emergency room admissions, reduce foster care placements, 1.5 million total served by drug court, 3,454 drug courts in the U.S., up to a 48% reduction in recidivism, and $6,000 average saving per drug court participant. 150,000 people served by drug courts each year. I know it's kind of cut off there. It's hard to see. Drug courts work to treat substance use disorders. This is the actual website for it. I'm going to give you guys the link there, but it's laportco.in.gov/courts-services/problem-solving-court. That is, in my opinion, an underutilized resource. We have so much focus on punishment, punishment, punishment. I think we need to get to the heart of what the issues are. This is the Chief Marshal for the Westville PD, Darren Mercer. He graduated in 1989 from LaPorte High School. U.S. Army with service in Iraq. 1998 honor graduate, ILEA class. FTO, Detective, Bike Patrol, Professional Standards Board. 2015 Chiefs Executive Training, ILEA. 2019 Northwestern University Staff and Command Class 449. 2019 FBI National Academy graduate, Class 276, and a current student at AMU Criminal Justice Program. Chief Deputy Nathan Hynek, Bachelor of Arts Sociology from Valpo, ILE graduate, Master of Science Forensic Psychology from Arizona State University. Here's what they focus on: training, community policing, use of force and deadly force, code of conduct, search and seizure, body-worn cameras, officer wellness. There are some interesting things in this. We're going to get into these in far more in-depth in its own little episode. I just wanted to share with you. Westville is it's a small department. There's 5 officers. They are trying to take a proactive approach. One of the people during the meeting asked, is there a reason that Westville is taking on this community policing? Were there complaints? Were there issues? And they're like, no, we want to try to be proactive. We want to try to figure out how we can fix any potential issues before they become issues. And I respect that. I have the utmost respect for the police, as you well know. Let me show you some pictures from yesterday's event. This is share this with you. There we go. This is our Lieutenant Governor, Suzanne Crouch, speaking at the event. I wanted to go live, but we weren't able to get a good position. We were way off to the side. You'll see in one of the other pictures where we were. Me with the family on the water. Donovan with his cheesy grin, Orion just kind of chilling. Uh, Liz is very, very unhappy with these pictures. She does not like them, so we will not be utilizing them for the campaign. But here you can see, if you were to pan the camera far to the left, we would be standing over there. There's Mr. Wells in the blue shirt, right hand side. Wife and I caught me with middle of a blink there, unfortunately. We're off to far off to the left over there. I don't even know if you can see us from here. Another picture, kind of not great focus on that. There you go. So here's the grill. All I see are the imperfections in it. There are some. I'm gonna spend some more time getting that done and getting it fixed. And you're absolutely right, Michelle. Going to the comments here, Michelle says, but in the end, the person wants to get clean for themselves. I learned the hard way trying to help someone get off drugs. It's not easy. They have to have willpower for it. And you're absolutely correct. Look, everyone that I personally know has some sort of personal experience with someone in their lives that has been either addicted to drugs or alcohol or has had negative interactions with those addicted. I don't know anyone that it hasn't touched in one way, shape, or form. It is something that I think anyone can relate to. It, it's something that we have to figure out a better way of going about it. Once someone ends up in the cycle of criminal justice, criminal confinement, um, we end up with a situation where they're just cycling through the system. Get out, have to figure out a way to get their fix, go to jail for that, etc. We have to we have to tie in and get to the heart of what it is. I'm going to tell you, we have some really cool stuff coming up. I'm actually in the process of organizing kind of a young person's roundtable because I think it'll be interesting to see what people from various who identify with various political movements or parties. For example, 15. I was talking to a 15-year-old Republican at the event, and he told me that in general he receives a lot of negative pushback for being, associated with being a conservative slash Republican. I'm trying to organize something so we can get someone from each political party to kind of give us their experiences with being a vocal proponent of a particular party. Is it different for those who are vocally Democrat versus those that are vocally Libertarian or Republican? Well, I'm working on getting that set up. I think it'll be really cool. We also have in the works. I'm trying to get the lieutenant governors on candidates. We have uh, the Libertarian candidate that we're working with right now, trying to get him on, uh, Mr. Henry, and I've put in a request for Ms. Crouch to see if she can appear, and then I'll send one out to the Dem candidate as well. I'd be interested in what they have to say, but realistically speaking, we're looking at Suzanne Crouch, and again, I'm curious as to what the Libertarian candidate has to say. Uh, the current AG, I think, has had an opportunity to let us know what they're about and all of that. Not so much on the other ones. Michelle, you're absolutely right. And then you have some doctors who are in it for the money, and they get pain meds out like candy, so that doesn't help. And I think that really goes to the heart. It's not, of course, not the only factor, but it certainly is a contributing factor. We have people who get injured or go to the doctor, get medication. This medication becomes their life, the only thing they know is pain reduction, right? And then the doctor cuts them off. Most recently, because of changes to the law. Um, the worst thing about this is it actually penalizes the people who are following the law, the people who aren't trying to misuse their pain medication, but the ones who are following the rules, doing what they're supposed to do, trying to get everything done that they can, and next thing you know, the doctors are forced by massive oversight and restrictions or threats from the DEA or other officials to start cutting these patients off. And all it does is contribute to a negative society. It hurts us all. It's something that I think all of us can understand and has some sort of negative repercussion for most of us. There's a lot that I'm trying to have on the show and trying to do. I want to I want to have I want to have more guests on. I want to have more people that have a different opinion than I do, a different set of views than I do, and I'd like to get people from across the political spectrum. I think that that's I think that that's something that's really important as well. Yeah, Jem makes a good point. Not to mention that the people receiving government assistance through Medicare oftentimes abuse the resources, often resulting in said resources being allocated to the wrong people. And that's absolutely true. Uh, there are, I don't know if you, as a matter of fact, I shared it on my page. Let me see if I can find it. A there is a oh, let me get to it. Let me get to it. It's not too far back. Um, oh, wrong one. Sorry. The Indiana Senate set up a oversight committee for Medicaid, non-emergency medical transport, and it is something that I think a lot more people need to be aware of. There are people who are experiencing absolutely incredibly negative experiences with something that is a needed service. Um, as I posted, I've heard horror stories from a number of people about the issues they've experienced when dealing with non emergency medical transport in the region. As your state representative, I intend to get to the bottom of the issues and improve the service and accountability of these providers while in office. I look forward to working with other members of the Assembly that understood the need for changes here. There are many Hoosiers that use these services and they're being ignored. Our really with this, how about none? I don't even know what the question is. I don't care. You pop up a survey. I'm not going to answer it right anyway. This is from the NWI Times, and the picture is of Jim Pressel, the Rolling Prairie report representative next door, and he was appointed by House Speaker Todd Huston from Fishers to serve on Indiana's Non-Emergency Medical Transportation Commission. The commission was established last year by Senate Enrolled Act 480, and it was co-sponsored by Pressel following a 2018 state contracting change that resulted in increased unanticipated demand for medical transportation, which led to late and missed rides and last-minute cancellations. It's a 16-member commission, which is going to meet twice a year, and charged with ensuring Medicaid fee-for-service recipients receive satisfactory rides and brokers pay the claims of non-emergency medical transportation providers in a timely manner. Uh, this is absolutely crucial because disabled people need reliable transportation in order to get to doctor's appointments. And I'm going to tell you, for many of these people, especially the people that are working through Social Security claims, stuff like that, if they don't go to their doctor's appointment, they can easily get denied, lose coverage, they can lose the services that they depend on. This is something that must be fixed. There are many uh, providers out there for this transport who are not giving timely rides. Their service is, let's say, less than stellar. Um, and that's also something that I think we can look into, Michelle. Get with Uber or Lyft to find people that are willing to help to get patients to and from appointments. Um, it's essentially an Uber or Lyft type system that works with Medicaid. It's a Medicaid approved vendor, I'd say, and it's essentially the same system, but we need to expand it. And the most important thing is we need to hold people accountable. We need to make sure that people that need a ride are able to get them, and the places are hiring quality people and maintaining the standards. Because I have heard a number of horror stories from people that have been transported and have received absolutely abysmal service, just horrific. Um, Behavior from certain drivers is unacceptable. So there's a lot coming up, and a lot that I'm trying to get to coming up. It's a lot, but I'm going to be attending. There's a meeting tomorrow night in Kerrville for the Libertarian Party. Yes, I'm a Republican, but I don't close my mind to other views. Um, and I think it'll be a good chance to go there and find out what their views and concerns and all of that are, especially as we head into 2020 election. There's so much on the line, ladies and gentlemen. You may not agree with every single thing that I do. You may not agree with every single thing that the Republican Party says or does, or prominent figures in the Republican Party. But I will tell you this is an election for the heart and soul of America. It is going to change everything. Everything. If Republicans don't win these seats, if we cannot take back the House, if we cannot get elected on local and state level, it's not going to be pretty. We have seen, and that's what I wanted to finish up with. We have seen with let's talk about Mr. Snedecor for a moment, Mayor Snedecor. It was a hard decision for him, and I think it was very brave because he has said that he's not seeking reelection, which means he could have simply ridden out the rest of his term, not stirred the pot, as it were, just been quiet, just stayed as a Democrat. Um, he could have been not, someone who didn't rock the boat, right? Why did he all of a sudden in his last term, after serving, I think, 18 years, why did he decide to switch parties? And I'm going to tell you, one of the quotes from the article, or excuse me, from uh, I don't have the thing. One of the quotes was, the Democrat Party has moved so far to the left that it has left us behind. And it has. We used to be able to talk, and I've talked about this before, I'm not going to, but we used to be able to talk about our differences, and now you're screamed and shut out, right? You're just stuffed in a box. Shh, we don't want to hear that, right? If you don't agree with us, you must be silent. He stood up and said, "That's enough." And this is what a lot of people don't seem to get with the walk away movement, with the Flexit movement, with all of these people leaving the Democrat Party. Imagine how many more are fed up but aren't going to be vocal about it. How many people? We've seen what happens to people wearing red hats. We've seen what happens to people who have things on their vehicle, whether it's a Trump bumper sticker, whether it's a Republican Party platform, something. People drive through voter registrations because they see a Republican sign. How many more people are quiet, right? Like the iceberg. You see the little tip above the surface, but there's so much more underneath. People that I've talked to in general, vastly overwhelming majority are quiet, trying to go about their lives, and most people aren't even interested in politics. They just want to be left alone. Being left alone isn't, it's not allowed anymore. If you don't fall into line, if you don't agree with what the left says, then you're the enemy, and they do view you that way. And that's something that I would like to kind of get to the bottom of. Um, I've had some interesting conversations with some Democrats when I ran for first district, and I think I'm going to get into kind of more behind the scenes of running for office. So I'm going to break it down for you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to tell you how you can do it too. It's not hard. Well, I won't say that. It's not difficult. It's a lot of hard work. There's a lot to it. And I'm going to tell you, they purposely make it difficult for the average person to do, but it is far from impossible. And every one of us, I believe, needs to get a lot more involved on a local, state, and national level. That's just the way it is, because we cannot continue to give away our freedoms. We're going to end up as a shell of the country I love, and it is absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And that's really comes down to it. The reason that I ran, that I'm running now, is because I want to have a better place for my children than what it is now. Because if we let it go, can you imagine? Just for a moment, really just stop and think, and I'll leave you with this. Just stop and think if we just let the Democrats do whatever they want. Seriously. We just let them sign any laws they want. We let them do whatever they want with bills, with the presidency, with Congress, with our local cities. Look at Chicago. Imagine the hell on earth that we would be living in. I can't sit by and let that happen. I just can't. So thank you for joining me, and big stuff coming up. Like I said, probably tomorrow night. There won't be a broadcast. I was really hoping that I could get it going last night, but the angle wasn't right. It didn't look good, so it was just better. If you look it up, I'm sure you can find the video. If you want to see the video of the event last night, and you can't find it, let me know. I'll get it for you. So God bless you. God bless Indiana. God bless the United States.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.